So it's been how many days since you?
10 days.
10 days since you were sworn in?
Yes.
How have you spent those 10 days?
And so, busy. I've been running lots of meetings, going here and there. I have to relearn Charlotte. I mean, I've been gone for 4 years, and a lot has happened in that. The city has grown tremendously. And so last week I was out riding around, trying to see some of the new areas of the city, some of our areas where we have seen some crime events and that kind of thing. So it's been quite busy the last 2 weeks.
So I was a little surprised when I saw that you were coming out of retirement to take this job. What was it about this job that drew you out of retirement?
Well, first and foremost, the opportunity to come back to the city that I love, and also the police department where I grew up. I spent 25 years here. Everything that I learned about policing, I learned it right here in Charlotte. And just the opportunity to come back to this city and this police department just sounded wonderful to me. I think this is probably the only thing that could have brought me out of retirement, maybe except for going and coaching the San Francisco 49ers football team. But other than that.
Were you offered the job?
No, I wish they would have, but I was just going to go and commandeer the job, actually. But no, as far as being a chief in any city, this would have been the only city I would want to come back to.
Mm-hmm. What is it about Charlotte, other than the fact that this is where you grew up as an officer?
The fact that it's so vibrant, it's so welcoming, it's so warm here to be in Charlotte. When I went to UNCC and I graduated, certainly I could have gone anywhere. I could have moved back to California, that kind of thing. But I just love this city. My husband do too. We just felt like this is the right place for us. And we've seen the growth here in Charlotte. And even though we're growing, we still feel like it's a safe city. It's just a great place to raise a family. And so we love it.
You were talking about visiting some of the parts of the city that have seen some high crime incidents. Charlotte has been in the news lately for a couple of high-profile incidents. The last one, I guess, being the gentleman who was stabbed on the train. How much can policing do to stop that kind of thing? People who are intending to do harm don't call the police department to notify you. So how much can a police department do to head off, to prevent violent crime?
Sure. So, the reality is, as a city grows and continues to grow, you're going to have crime incidents. The police job is just to mitigate it as much as possible, to interrupt it as much as we can. But of course, we can't be in all places at all times. Even if we had 5,000 police officers across the city, we would still have incidents occurring. My position is that we focus heavily, though, on violent crime and reducing it and disorder. And for me, that means, identifying the individuals who are committing these crimes as much as possible, learning who they are, disrupting it, and then being in those locations where we tend to see repeated incidents of crime. What happened on the light rail is certainly unfortunate. Our hearts certainly go out to the victims in those cases. And I wish, we could have been there, but a city this size, it's growing all the time. We just don't have the resources to be in every place. We are working very closely with CATS. We have a great relationship with them. They've increased their presence. We've increased our presence in that area, and we're going to keep working to make it as safe as possible.
I was reading I was on the U.S. Attorney's website, and I saw that you had a quote there. How much are you working with the federal authorities on addressing crime issues here?
Yes, we historically have worked with our federal partners such as DEA, ATF, HSI, FBI. We have strong relationships with them, always trying to, when there's a case that we build a case, make sure it's a prosecutable case to get those violent offenders off our street, those gang members and such. That is important. And that is something we will continue to make sure that we are always working with other law enforcement entities, but not just them. We want to work with our community as well, our nonprofits, our business leaders, community leaders. It is so important that we take an all-hands-on-deck approach when it comes to crime and making our community safe, and even just the perception of crime, making sure that we're engaging everybody that we can to reduce that perception of violence and crime.
What does it look like to work with the community on an issue like that?
Wonderful. I am very community-facing, very forward-facing when it comes to relying on the community. Those are our eyes and ears. When you go into any neighborhood, those members who live there know who's out of place, who's committing those crimes. The more they can share that information with us, the better it is for us to be able to remove those dangerous individuals. So there is absolutely no way that we don't work with the community, we don't engage them. all the time to be able to reduce crime.
You left Raleigh. What do you think were some of your major accomplishments there?
Oh, I loved my time in Raleigh. My Raleigh family was so good to me. They supported me in so many ways. We had a lot of successes. I had an outstanding team who were devoted. They took me in when I got to Raleigh, and they listened to the things I had to say. One of the biggest accomplishments was getting that support for the police, and that helped us to reduce vacancies. So getting that support led to us standing up our police foundation in Charlotte that raised a lot of money to bring technology and other resources to the Raleigh Police Department. Also, too, we filled our vacancies. When I got there, they got me. I didn't ask how many vacancies there were when I got to the agency, and because we were coming out of COVID and George Floyd, we saw a mass exodus. We were down 150 officers. Now, granted, only had 800 allocations to begin with. We were down 150. We really started ramping up our recruitment efforts, and we got that number down to 50-ish, 40 or 50 when I left, and we were trending towards zero. So I was super excited that we were able to do that in Raleigh, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to do the same here in Charlotte. We're gonna get the numbers down because we know that builds morale when you have those vacancies filled.
What does the vacancy rate look like here?
We're about 200 or so officers.
Out of?
Short, 1,800 or so is our allocation, maybe about 1,900 is our allocation. And so we know we've got to reduce that number. And once we get to zero, I've already told the city manager and council that we're going to come to you and we're going to ask for more officers.
What did you do in Raleigh to fill those vacancies that you think you can do here?
Really building up the organization. When people saw all the great work that RPD was doing, they naturally wanted to come and be a part of that. You know, people are attracted to greatness when they see the good work that is going on. But also too, we challenged our employees to recruit. Said, listen, you bring people into the organization. We had a recruitment incentive, a bonus that we gave to our officers to recruit people. We were successful in that area because they had never done that in Raleigh before, so we did that. That was really good. We also was able to increase the pay. We also was able to do a language incentive and some other kind of incentives that they didn't have that was attractive to it. CMPD is fortunate that we have some of those things already in place. We'd want to expand them and keep working on them, but also to just, again, having our employees go out and recruit and bring somebody into the organization.
Aside from filling vacancies, what are some of your other early goals for Charlotte?
So I have 3 priorities that I have laid out. Building morale is one of them. Investing in the wellness of our employees, making sure that there's work-life balance and that kind of thing, as much as we can in law enforcement. We're not fortunate enough for this to be a 9-to-5 job. People that come into this profession gotta know you're gonna work around the clock, right? You're gonna work night shift, you're gonna work those odd hours, you gotta work on holidays and that kind of thing. But being able to make sure that we have resources so they can decompress. So, you know, our therapy dog and our wellness initiatives, building on that and being able to provide more of it. Also too, some of my goals are to work on our violent crime and the perception of crime. And that means having officers more visible in our community where residents can come up to them and just talk to them, share information with them. I think that relieves that fear of crime in the community. So we're gonna work on that. And then also too, just building community, continuing to touch all aspects of our community, different demographics, different groups, different neighborhoods. That they're seeing our officers and know that we're there for them.
How would you describe the morale right now at the department?
Well, you know, I don't know exactly because I'm so brand new. Part of my 100-day plan is that I'm going to every division, every unit to talk to our employees, to see what's on their minds, what's important to them. And then we are going to ask them to tell us exactly what those are through a survey. And we're gonna form these action committees where they get to solve those issues. If they feel like right now, you know, how our staffing is a problem, they can help solve that. Or if they feel that perhaps we need to have more take-home cars or something like that, or the distribution of our take-home cars is a little bit off balance, I'm gonna challenge them to come up with a solution. Bring me something where we can solve that and then we'll work towards it. I'm committed to doing that. I wanna empower our employees to have a say and have a voice in what we do with the organization.
What do you think is your superpower as a leader / chief of police?
I think my superpower is the fact that I'm a collaborator. I can bring people together. I can get buy-in, I can get consensus. I've done that successfully, and doing that in policing circles is hard because cops are cops. They complain about everything, they don't want to change anything. And so I feel I have that knack of being able to just talk to people, communicate with them, bring them together, and get buy-in from them. So I'm gonna see. I know a lot of officers here at CMPD. Sometimes that's not a good thing, but I'm gonna do my best to say, hey, talk to me, tell me what's going on, and let's work on a solution together.
Do you feel you have the backing you need from city officials? I would be shocked if you said no.
They have all pledged. They have all told me, either individually or collectively, that they support this police department. I'm very thankful for that. And so I'm going to, I'm going to hold them to it. You said you're going to be there for me, but realistically also, I know we don't have an unlimited budget. We have to work within constraints. And I already know how to communicate that to the department because I faced that in Raleigh. But I am going to challenge them to be able to say, hey, these are our priorities. Please support it. Please work with us. And then also lean in on our community to help us. Where they can help us.
Any other question that I left out that you want to address?
We perhaps maybe address it, but I just want the Charlotte community to know that I'm here for them. I'm committed to doing this job. I didn't come out of retirement to just sit on my hands. I have come to really try to impact change, make change, move us forward as an organization. I also say that, I thank Chief Jennings for the work that he did here. He laid a great foundation for us, along with our previous chiefs, Chief Putney and Chief Monroe and Chief Stevens. Those were all my chiefs when I was here, and they did a phenomenal job. They're all innovative and forward-thinking leaders. I've learned a lot from them, and I want to continue to learn. I want to continue to move the organization